So, faithleaks.org received takedown requests from the Watchtower over the past 2 weeks. What was this all about? Hey, you're listening to Cult Life, and this is Robin Jackson. Hey, and welcome to another episode of Cult Life with me, your host, Robin Jackson. And as I said in my intro, the faithleaks.org website received takedown requests from the Watchtower organization with regards to documents listed on their website, which cites the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society documents, letters, publications, and so forth. So I'm going to start off by reading the Truth and Transparency Foundation's response, or the background on their website, the truthandtransparency.org website. They are the administrators of, or they administer the faithleaks.org website. And this is what Ethan Gregory Dodge wrote on the website. It says, and I quote from the website itself, "On the afternoon of Monday, December the 31st, 2018, the Truth and Transparency Foundation was issued 4 separate takedown requests with a total of 63 documents. The request came from the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of Pennsylvania, more commonly known as Watchtower, the governing organization of the religious group known as the Jehovah's Witnesses. It is the Foundation's 3rd time receiving such a request, this being the first regarding a withdrawal of documents not related to Mormonism." Now, we all know faithleaks.org started off as Mormon Leaks, where documents and letters were leaked from the Mormon Church. And that's how the organization actually started. But they've, of course, branched out into releasing and exposing documents from the Watchtower as well. The second paragraph, it goes on to say, "All the documents included in the request are currently hosted on the website of the Project Faith Leaks, which serves as a site to host confidential documents from religious institutions. The entirety of the documents were published in late April or early May 2018, 8 months before the requests. Why the takedown request was not issued closer to the document's publication is unclear, but the requests were delivered shortly after a profile of Jason Wynn, founder of the website avoidjw.org, was published in the Norwegian newspaper. Avoid.jw once hosted thousands of documents relating to Jehovah's Witnesses. In early 2018, they were taken down and are slowly being republished by Faith Leaks. All 63 documents in question were once on Avoid.jw. All but 2 of the documents are related to the Jehovah's Witnesses annual regional convention. Each year, religious leaders from Watchtower tour different regions of the world to attend and speak at conventions of Jehovah's Witnesses, where members are instructed and educated. These leaders include a group of 8 men known as the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses, the highest leaders of the institution. Among the documents are the content and outlines of talks given in the 2016 and 27 tours. The Faith Leaks website has published content of the 2018 convention, but these were not included in the takedown request. So, and then the website goes on to say past requests in March of 2017, then operating solely under the name Mormon Leaks, they received a takedown request from the Intellectual Property Department of the Mormon Church. The subject of the request was internal PowerPoint presentation that contained a slide that was later dubbed by the media as the Mormon Church's enemies list. So, that this was not the first request received by this website or the organization to take down documents. But it's of note that the Watchtower has now issued this takedown request to the faithleaks.org and the Truth and Transparency Foundation, which administers the website. Then, now, how did the faithleaks.org or the Truth and Transparency Foundation respond to this? Well, they responded, and I'm going to read the letter from the attorneys on how they responded to the Watchtower's takedown requests. So I'm going to quote from the letter. It says, "Dear Mr. Brumley," and Mr. Brumley is, of course, I think the lawyer, Watchtower lawyer. "This office represents the Truth and Transparency Foundation, sponsor of faithleaks.org. I have been forwarded a series of emails which you sent to my client on December the 31st, 2018, in which you allege a number of alleged copyright violations. We dispute your contention that my client is reproducing and distributing Watchtower's intellectual property illegally and without authorization. As you undoubtedly observed when you visited the FaithLeaks page, FaithLeaks is a non-profit media organization which distributes documents for use by professional and citizen journalists for starting and expanding news reporting, public commentary, and criticism related to religion. FaithLeaks neither seeks nor receives any remuneration for the information which it publishes. The documents which you reference in your emails were disseminated for purposes which fall under the fair use protection of the copyright law. As you may be aware, the district courts in the state of Nevada are well aware of the fair use doctrine and the defense found in 17 for purpose such as, it goes on to cite an example of some of the court cases in terms of court cases with regards to fair use and copyright law in the state of Nevada. The next paragraph goes on to say, the next element addressed by the Nevada court was the extent to which the copyrighted work was a creative work. In the Hoon case, the court found the work in question to be a combination of an informational piece with some creative elements. The work was distinguished from creative work in the realm of fictional stories, song lyrics, or Barbie dolls. I would assume that you and those who follow the Watchtower Society would not consider these various lectures of faith to be this type of creative work that the copyright laws are intended to protect. To the extent to which the third factor of the fair use analysis may be applicable is somewhat unclear. You have referenced a number of alleged infractions, some of which are partial use and some of which do include the entire work. Nonetheless, the amount published is consistent with the purposes for which FaithLeaks has published the selections, and wholesale copying does not preclude a finding of fair use. And I want to go back to the paragraph before this, and I'll read the quote again. I would assume that you and those who follow the Watchtower Society would not consider these various lectures of faith to be this type of creative work that copyright laws are intended to protect. So in effect saying to the Watchtower, if you want us to take down and you're trying to attack us with regards to your copyright laws, I'm hoping that you don't see your work as fiction and as it says, this type of creative work. That's what it's in fact actually saying there. The next paragraph goes on to say, the last factor, and perhaps the most critical factor which supports my client's entitlement to fair use, is the fact that my client's publication does not impact the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. My client's use is indisputably non-commercial, and where a use is non-commercial, a challenge requires that the use is harmful or negatively impacting the market for your copyrighted work. The fact that these documents appear on a website devoted to news reporting, public commentary, and criticism related to religion is not likely to interfere with the market for Watchtower's materials to its followers. In light of all the foregoing, my client declines your request that they remove the materials in question. While I invite you to respond to this analysis, it is not likely to change my client's position that the material which is published for a legitimate public purpose and falls within the fair use doctrine of the copyright laws. Undoubtedly, you are aware that a challenge to the propriety of the postings in question would only result in additional attention to the materials on my client's site and elsewhere. The litigation which you would bring to suppress the dissemination of this information would backfire by bringing more attention to it. You should also anticipate that the discovery required to establish my client's fair use defense would undoubtedly lead to an exploration of the locations in which the information has been and the circumstances under which it has been disseminated by your organization and others. What is currently a posting on a relatively obscure website would become news in multiple media sources relating to religion as well as copyright law. I trust and assume that you will agree it is best that both parties simply go their own way rather than litigating the appropriateness of my client's use of the documents in question. Very truly yours, Hobbs & Olson, Carpenter, Hazelwood. So, that was the response from faithleaks.org and their attorneys to Watchtower on the takedown request. Very interesting. I like the second last paragraph where the attorneys say that, look, you might want to go ahead with this litigation, but just know this is going to bring quite a bit of media attention to the whole incident or to this whole case. Your information and the dissemination of this information would actually backfire by bringing more attention to it, as it says. And do you really want, the world to actually see, how stupid you are in your writings and how, what type of cult you really are? Because this is exactly what's going to happen. Because this is going to blow up in the media. People would want to find out more. All these documents and letters and the publications will get disseminated, and it would put Watchtower in a bad light. Do you really want that to happen, Watchtower? The ball is in your court. So that is the show for tonight. It'll be interesting to see what happens if the Watchtower responds to this letter. Thanks for joining, and see you again next week.